first started riding, I used to compete in competitions called UKBFA, which is like a UK version of what was the AFA at that time. And I used to have to do compulsory. You used to have to do compulsory stuff, and you had to do flatland and ramps in 1 minute. So, and I think like the compulsories were you had to do a rollback, a switch round. That's kind of like where you ride along, and then ride backwards, and then ride out of it. A rock walk, which I always used to have trouble with for some reason, and an aerial is what they called it, and a frame stand, all in 1 minute. It was pretty lame, but it was, I guess. And then I was in under 12s at that time, and then as things progressed, things in England started getting away from the UKBFA competitions, and my dad actually, along with me, we came up with like how the King of Skate Parks used to be. We started out with a competition called King of Concrete, which is still running today, like 13 years later. And the basic idea of that was to get away from the compulsory element, and just to have like a jam style format. We were pretty much, as far as I know, one of the first people to do it. And that's basically how it's evolved competition wise. Riding wise is crazy. I mean, from balancing tricks, for me it's evolved from balancing tricks to Switzerland squeakers, stuff like that, and then the whiplash stuff came in, so kind of learned all that stuff. And then where like now it's like a combination of everything. That's what I try to do with my flatlands. The tricks that I've made up have come from like accidents, really. Like I'll be doing a trick and then it'll go into something else completely unplanned, and I'll just think, oh, if I tried that a little bit harder I could get to that. And then I did like G-turn into X-up cowboy squeak on a pedal. I did that for a few years, but scuffing, and now I do it all with one kick and then kind of tail whip round and do it with the bars X, and then go back again, one kick again, and then come out. So that evolved like that, and then I did G-strings into the cowboy X-up thing as well, and like G-turn into cowboy X-up, one kick straight into a hitchhiker combo. Things like that, like that's the way I do it personally. And then there's like some tricks that I've worked on for like 6 months. G-string to backwards half-packer, that's one of my dream tricks, and I finally pulled it like 6 months ago, so I'm pretty stoked with that. Back when I was 15, I used to make a zine called Totally Intense, and I made 36 issues of that magazine, and Mark Noble, who's actually the editor of Ride UK magazine, used to contribute photos, and we used to trade back and forth. I would do stories for Ride magazine, and then I guess when I went to university I stopped doing the zine, and because I didn't have enough time, plus riding as well, and from there I started doing stuff for the magazine, and now it's evolved into a job. Plus a lot of people don't really see all sides of the sport, so I try and push the flatland side as much as I can to a lot of people in Europe, more the UK, but magazine sells to Europe, so flatland scene is pretty big, so it's definitely worth a market. So they put a lot of stuff in, so it's going pretty good at the moment, and it enables me to go to all the competitions as well, which is nice. Since I started riding, I always wanted to win the World Championships, and I won the World Championships when I was 14 in expert, and then after I won that I always wanted to win pro flatland, and the second year that I was pro flat at the World Championships I won that one. That was my hardest wish, because ever since then it's got harder and harder. So I think once you win a competition it's harder to step up and stay at that level. So like now my wish, now I'd love to win the Worlds again.